they look at the Mercedes-Benz, then they take a peek to see if there's anything in it, and then let's try to break into the mailbox because there's nobody in the car, and all right, everybody, Rob Ferretti here, and behind me I have a warehouse full of cars. A lot of cars people would like to drive, a lot of cars that people would like to own. Unfortunately, when you have nice things, other people try to take them from you because it's easier than earning them. You could just go take them, which effectively you're earning it in just a very, I don't know, it's a very weird way of thinking, but you're earning it by taking it from somebody else. Not cool. Here, another instance, and you saw my house. I beefed it up with those gates outside to keep people from trying to steal cars from my house. Car theft has been very common lately, and far too common, far more common than it should be, and hopefully that trend starts to go in the other direction because it sucks. You can blame laws, you can blame whatever you want, but all I can do is try to prevent it from happening and try to safeguard myself from that. Now, rewind to last week, last Friday night. I go to leave the warehouse, end of the day, it's about 6:30 at night. I look outside, I have got a Mercedes-Benz C63 AMG parked outside, obviously not my crown jewel. I don't really care too much about it if it gets rained on or whatever. It's one of those cars that I bought because one of the dealers is like, hey, we need to get rid of this car. Cool. Where do I write the check? Yep, that's how I ended up with the C63, which is back over there. I parked it outside, but I'm not an idiot, right? Like I know you don't want to be the easy target. I saw the mirrors were out. I go to open the car door to see if anyone left the key in it. I push the button. Obviously, it powers up, but the key was not in it, so I would go around looking for the key. Found the key. It was on my brother's desk. I pushed the button to lock the car. I just as easily could have pulled it inside. I get it. But my concern or my thought wasn't that somebody was going to come steal it. And even then, they don't have a key, whatever. I've got GPS in it. There's a whole bunch of levels of protection I have. However, I did decide to leave it outside for the night, shut the door, went home. Fast forward to the morning, I came back and I saw this. Sometimes I'm embarrassed to own things. Not because I don't think this is adorable and cute, but I leave it unlocked for a reason. Because everybody seems to try to steal stuff, but they never want to steal this. Like this here. This is my mailbox, right? It's a mailbox. We use it sometimes for like drop keys overnight. If you see right here, some dude came and jacked this thing open last night with a pry bar, presumably thinking that the key to this car, which I locked before I left. I legitimately came to see if the key was in it. I tried to start it, key wasn't in it. I was looking around for the key, found the key, locked the car instead of pulling it inside, which I could have done. And the reason I did that was just so nobody could jump in and steal it. Fast forward, that same night, some dude tries to bust into this key box to get the key, assuming a customer may have left the car outside. It's a problem here at Gotham Dream Cars. And luckily I put this camera up because I realized I didn't have a lot of visibility outside other than this Ring doorbell, because I don't care about outside because it's a big concrete building. But I put that Ubiquiti G4 Pro, which I've now, the stock is probably bumping given the fact that I bought so many of them recently. But I will go back to that footage and there you go. There's your video. But the wave does not stop no matter where you are. And look at this gorgeous tree, by the way. That looks really nice. If it wasn't for that truck right there, it's a pretty nice picture. If it wasn't for that, yeah. Well, I'm gonna take this little truck now, and I'm gonna leave my Mercedes unlocked. Well, I'm gonna think twice about leaving my Mercedes unlocked now. I'm gonna lock it. But there you go. Don't try to steal my shit. I don't like that. Really unsettling. This is less unsettling than coming to my house, because this is just guys wandering the streets. But another police report here in Teaneck. Little do they know he's probably going to bend a rim leaving this place, but it's because he's going to be in a rush to get out of here. Oh well, time to up the lockbox game. All right, let's pick up the footage at 12:41 a.m. And this is actually before the initial footage that I gave to the police officer because I didn't see anything happening until the camera picked up this car driving down the road at 12:41 a.m., which is 2 minutes prior to somebody trying to break into my shop. Now, if you watch where this car goes, there's an empty cul-de-sac over there, and I don't believe anyone's doing business at this time of night. They pull next to the building in that car, which I have to presume is stolen, and you can still see it in the corner of the frame, and somebody gets out of the car. Now, after somebody exits the car starts driving around to then leave, and you'll see the car drive around and go around the corner from where it came, so the car had no business being in the area other than to drop off this passenger, which makes this car complicit in the crime. The car then disappears around the corner and appears to sort of stop on the other side of the building. Now fast forward, you see a little bit of movement through the back of the trees there. That is the passenger that was then dropped off over there. And I don't know if they attempted to do anything to any cars that were in the cul-de-sac. I don't know if there were any cars in the cul-de-sac, but you can now see them walking around the trees, and they're about to enter the frame after looking over by the other door. And I don't know what they're actually looking for, but I'll show you where I picked up the initial clip that I gave to the cops, which is at 12:43 in the morning, which is right about here. Now here my camera senses the motion of this person walking in the middle of the street, which there is nothing obviously wrong with doing so in the middle of the night. However, if your intentions are poor, there's now a problem. So they start walking, and I don't know why they're looking at the door or what they're looking at, but they're sneaking in. And here they come. They come up my ramp. They look at the Mercedes-Benz. Then they take a peek to see if there's anything in it. And then let's try to break into the mailbox because there's nobody in the car. And success. And upon learning nothing's in there, they prance away awkwardly. That was unexpected. I think we're going to watch that one more time. Yep, that was quite the awkwardness. They then disappear around the corner, and I assume they walk all the way back to the car that was waiting for them on the other side of the building to drive to the next stop. So what do we know? What do we not know? I go back to the cameras, and I pull up the person walking up, grabbing something out of their pants, and popping the box open. Whether it was a giant screwdriver, a crowbar, pry bar, I don't know. But I did see them. They go over. You can hear them pop the box open, thinking that the key to the Mercedes was going to be in the box, because technically it is a lockbox for if somebody's returning the car before, like say we open up at 8 or 9 a.m. and somebody's like, I got a flight at 6:30. I'm going to drop it off at 5:30. So, right, you know, they may come by, they put the key in the box, they leave the car outside. 2 hours later, we come and get it. Is it foolproof? No. The same way having this overhead door here, not foolproof, right? Somebody could just back right through it with a truck and you have full access to the shop. Now the alarm is going to go off for anything that's inside, where the alarm won't go off for something that's outside. But that's why I have the cameras installed outside, and that camera was a recent addition because I'm like, you know what? I don't know what's going on outside other than what I see on my Ring doorbell. I want to have some cameras outside the building. Grabbed a hammer drill, right through, ran the wire, everything's hooked up. And the G4 cameras are good, right? They're 4K cameras. They record excellent quality, and that's how we got this footage of this person trying to steal the car. Now, they didn't even try. They saw the mirrors were folded in. Their only hope was that there was a key in that lockbox. Obviously, they could have come and tried to kick through the door and found the key. You'd have to assume if the key's not in the car, key's not in the box, key's inside. They're still the lowest bar of like being in a commercial area, nobody around, you've got time to do it. It was weird that I think, like, I'm going to try to profile this person. I think it's a woman, right? I got that vibe that this is a woman, and, or like, I think it's a woman because of the hair, but then the weird, like, I don't know what the little skip away thing was, right? That was not like, oh crap, and then you bolt away. To me, that was like somebody on drugs run away, or like just somebody with a really weird sense of rhythm. and just sort of like fluttering, prancing. I don't know. I'm going to put it at the end of the video. I'm going to make that like a GIF and throw it at the end of the video instead of my normal end cap. But they did not get the car. All they did was bust open the box to be disappointed, and I get to share it with you guys. Now, even if they got the car, like I've got so many levels of protection here, which none of them are foolproof, right? You can come through the ceiling. Like if you want something in here, odds are you'd be able to get it. Will you get away with it? Probably not. But you will be able to get it. The cops, it'll take them 3 to 4 minutes to get here. Two minutes, I don't know, depending on, you do your own research as to how long it would take the cops to get here. But, I mean, like, I bet you Shavam's BMW up there all the way on the lift with the spider web. I wish you could see that spider web. The spider web that's on that car cover. And that's the guy who's like, don't put my cars up in the air. I like to drive them. Also the same guy with a giant spider web attached to his car cover. So, like, that car's probably got the key in it because by the time you got all of these, so you break into the shop, you break into the lockbox, you like figure out which key goes to which car. You start like, I mean, the National Guard will be here by then. I mean, like, unless it's a state of emergency and then the earth is ending, I mean, you're never going to do too much damage in here by getting cars. The worst possible scenario is my cars get vandalized if somebody breaks in. But again, like this door is not made of iron, right? You don't have an iron door to get in. We have alarms, we have cameras, we have key boxes. We've got all sorts of safety precautions, but not any one of them or any multitude of them are foolproof if somebody really wants something. I said the same thing about the gate at my house. You can come through with a dump truck. Boom, there goes the gate, right? Like it's a big gate and it's a beautiful gate. But if you want to get through it, you could probably get through it. And that's something that I've always taken that approach in life. We don't live in a utopia, right? There's no perfect society where you leave the key in your car, you leave your door open at night, like your front door is open, anyone can come in, and it doesn't work like that. You have to try to secure your stuff and safeguard your stuff, but if somebody wants it, they're going to get it. I don't care how encrypted your passwords are and what you think. If somebody wants it bad enough, you got to accept that that's life. That's why you get insurance. That's why you safeguard yourself. I've got the trackers in the cars. I've got all sorts of ways to bring something to finality and to bring it to conclusion and try to safeguard my stuff. But obviously, there's no way to be completely protected and completely foolproof. Should I have left the car outside? No, it's sort of like a bait car when you leave it outside. But also, I shouldn't have to worry about parking a car outside and having that happen. Now, to be fair, I don't know how many times I've had cars parked outside that people have maybe tried to steal them. They've never left the evidence of breaking into that lockbox. If it wasn't for that lockbox being broken into, I wouldn't have noticed that anyone was here. I wouldn't have gone back to the camera that night. It's only because there was property damage that I went back to look. And also the same thing with my trunk being open on my Ferrari at my house when they tried to take that. Like, it's really it's an unfortunate time that we live in, but it's also a fortunate time that if you think about your childhood, or at least my childhood, I'm much older than most of you, and you think about the stuff that may have happened, like somebody trying to get in your door or your window of your house at night, but you don't even know, right? You're just sleeping, you wake up, somebody tried to get in, they couldn't get in, they walk away, they go to the next one, or they go somewhere else. And you didn't know about that. Now all we do is have documentation to be like, somebody tried to break into my house last night. And that's much different. That's a much greater invasion of privacy. And knowing that this exists allows us to see these larger trends of car thefts and everything like that, because you have all this Ring camera. They're like, oh yeah, I know a guy who had his car stolen. Now we have lots of evidence of it, and it helps paint a picture of where it is, where it's going, car trackers, what the process is once they steal it, what they do with it, where they go with it, and sucks, but it makes for some entertaining YouTube stuff. So, luckily, no harm, no foul. I'm out of lockbox. I'll beef that one up outside, get a stronger one. Maybe I'll try hitting it with my own crowbar and finding something that's a little bit more crowbar proof. Or maybe I'll put a mail slot in the door so they have to bust through the fire door instead. I don't know, whatever the solution ends up being. At least everything is safe, all is good over here in Teaneck, New Jersey, except for the road, which they still say they're paving starting on the 19th. We'll see. Rob Ferretti, thank you for watching. If you have any information, let's do this. If you have any information as to who this person is, they're fairly recognizable. I feel like you can't profile people, but anyone walking with like a crowbar in their pants at like midnight in an industrial area with a mask on, I would question them. Like, I know it's probably not the right thing to do, but I would. Until that day comes, Rob Ferretti, hopefully you can help me find this person. If you know them, let's call them out, right? Like, let's put their handle in there. I talked to the other business owners. They walked by. So it wasn't like searching for other places here. Like, it wasn't searching for other mailboxes looking for any car. They were specifically looking, I would assume, for my vehicles that were parked outside. Granted, my mini truck was right there and they didn't want it, which is a little hurtful. But such is life.